Welcome to the Ikom Acholonu Center for African Cultural Sciences. It's been quite a long time I did a video, and I felt I should do this one regarding a recent development. I'm sure you're all aware about the actions taken by Cross River State to pull down their monolithic structures and replace those structures with a foreign one. Replace those structures with an image of Jesus, with the flag of Israel hoisted above it. You know, it's actually true when someone said that Africans want to be every other thing except being Africans. And it's also true that if you do not have the knowledge of self, you will be living the illusions that others have created for you. And that is exactly what is playing out. Because I cannot, for the life of me, understand why anyone would disregard, would demolish, would pull down their historical heritage and replace it with that of a foreign one. Who does that? Are we mad? What is really going on? Other countries are doing the best that they can to promote and preserve their historical heritage, their cultural heritage. And by so doing, they attract income and revenue to their economies. Because there are many countries that tourism, happens to be the lifeline of those economies. And in Nigeria, all we do is just pay lip service to tourism, pay lip service to the promotion and preservation of cultural heritage. Because I cannot understand what would make a state government to pull down their own historical heritage and replace it with a foreign one. It's sickening. It's sickening. It's a sacrilege. It's what my late mother would call an anathema. Now, I understand that those structures they put down are not the originals. Yeah, the original ones are found they are tucked away in faraway Ikom. I get that. But the reason why these other replicas were erected in the state capital is to whet the appetite of the tourist, so that when the tourist comes, he has a visual of what to expect. This same thing happened in Imo State many years ago, where we had the statue image of Ikenga, and it was pulled down for another image. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we despise or detest our heritage so much? Your heritage strengthens your identity. Your heritage gives you a sense of place and a sense of pride. It makes you unique. It separates you from another society. You have foreigners, if anything, to come to Africa to explore what we have here, and you are busy destroying what you have. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. I want to believe that the state government acted out of ignorance. Probably they do not know what those monuments stand for. My mother carried out extensive research around those monoliths. Those monoliths are not just ordinary artworks. The ones that are tucked away in faraway Ikom have a whole lot of meaning attached to them. First of all, they were erected by the dwarfs that existed many years ago. At a time that Adiela Fibo called the time of the eternal day, when there was only day and no night, when there was no death, is a time my mother called the pre-death time, because death did not exist. These dwarfs were not created, they simply evolved. These dwarfs were what you would call the unsolid. For those of you who watched the Game of Thrones, you will remember the crop of people called the unsolid. They had a divine essence. They were begotten and not made. They were not born of women. But when they knew of the coming of this deluge that was to submerge the world, they now created replicas of themselves. And that is what you find at Ikom. And beyond that, one monolith is different from the next one, because these were different individuals. It's like how you and I would take our selfies today. It's the same thing that they did way back then. So they erected these monoliths to represent who they were. And some of them have their names attached to these monoliths. They have their names rendered on those monoliths. Would you believe it that Eve happens to be a monolith at Ikom? The people of Ikom call it Isha. They call it Isha. Isha means Eve. And do you know what the people of Israel also call it? Shesha. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Shesha. And if Africa happens to be the cradle of mankind, if Africa happens to be the place of human beginnings, then you should know that Israel took that name from Africa. And this could only have happened when prehistoric Africans left the shores of Africa and spread into other parts of the world. And you come and erect the image of Jesus with a flag of Israel hoisting above it. How is it possible that the child will be the progenitor of the ancestor? Is it normal? Africa is the ancestor of Israel. Because I think at some point I'll have to do another video regarding this misnomer, regarding this misrepresentation. We do not come from Israel. Israel comes from us. We are the ancestors of Israel. On the other hand, you also have symbols and writings and inscriptions rendered on those monoliths. They mean a whole lot. These are sacred images. These are sacred writings. It was only my mother and her team that took the time to transcribe those symbols and what they represented. For example, there's something that she called the double concentric circle. The meaning of that, if you find it on any monolith, it means son of the sun or children of the sun. In another breath, it also means God as father and mother, embracing the only begotten son. These are things we do not know. Many of these discoveries by my mother were encapsulated in her books. So please, I am begging the government of Cross River State to reverse this action, to reverse this shameful action. It is a sacrilege. It's a sacrilege on our culture. It's a sacrilege on African people. I am begging that they reverse this action and replace monuments that they have put there with the monoliths as they once were. And I hope by some providence, the state government hears me out. Thank you.